My life exploded on Christmas morning, the kind of explosion that doesn't make a sound but hits you so hard your lungs forget how to breathe. I remember standing on that cracked driveway in Toledo, Ohio, snow stacked like forgotten laundry on the curb, while my landlord, Chuck, slammed the door on the home my little sister and I had lived in for 3 years. "Rent's late again, man," he barked, his breath fogging in the icy air. "I warned you, I ain't running a charity." He tossed our 2 duffel bags out the door like we weren't even human, like we were trash. My sister Lily's gloved hand tightened around my sleeve. She whispered, "Evan, what do we do now?" Inside, my stomach twisted into something sharp. I've been working double shifts at a warehouse, grinding through 12-hour nights. I've been late on rent by 3 days. That's it. 3 stupid days. And Chuck chose Christmas morning to uproot us like weeds. "Dude, you serious?" I snapped. "On Christmas? You couldn't wait 1 freaking day." Chuck shrugged like he was tossing away an empty soda can. "Not my problem. Bank rules. Maybe you should have thought about this before you missed payments." "That's cold, bro," I muttered. He smirked. "Life's cold." The door locked. The deadbolt clicked. That sound was the moment everything in me changed. Because the truth, the part nobody in this town knew, was that I wasn't who they thought I was. I wasn't just some broke warehouse guy. I wasn't just some older brother scrambling to raise his kid sister. I was hiding a past so big it didn't even fit in that apartment. But I'd sworn never to use that money unless I absolutely had to. It came with strings that could strangle. And that morning, standing in the freezing Ohio wind with Lily's hair whipping across her face, I felt those strings tightening. I felt the universe pushing me toward a choice I didn't want to make. "Evan," she said softly, "are we homeless?" I swallowed the truth. Not for long. Inside my head, though, panic was smashing around like a wild animal. Where were we supposed to go? A motel? A shelter? My car barely ran, and the engine light had been on since July. But then, through that chaos, a fire sparked in my chest. Something primal. Something that had been sleeping too long. He threw us out. On Christmas. He thought we were nobodies. But he was about to find out who I really was. As I grabbed our bags and led Lily down the icy sidewalk, a plan started forming. One I never thought I'd touch again. "Where are we going?" Lily asked. "To get what's ours." She blinked. "What does that mean?" I didn't answer. Not yet. Because the next move, the next decision, was going to change everything. And if Chuck thought throwing us out was the end of the story, he had no idea what kind of storm he just unleashed or how rich I actually was. And when he found out, it was already too late. The wind cut across my face as we walked, the kind of Midwest cold that feels personal, like Ohio itself woke up and chose violence. Lily was quiet, hugging her coat tight, boots crunching against old, frozen snow. She was only 15, but she'd already lived through more chaos than most adults I knew. We reached my beat-up '09 Honda Civic, the car that shook violently every time it went over 40 miles per hour, like it was begging for mercy. The paint was chipped, the heater barely worked, and the passenger door only opened if you slammed your shoulder into it. Twice. I threw the bags in the back and fired up the engine. It coughed like a sick dog before sparking to life. Lily looked at me, her voice trembling. "So, where are we even going?" I gripped the wheel, staring at the road ahead. "I'm taking you somewhere safe." "Safe like, with someone we know?" she asked. "No, safe like someone Chuck can't touch." Her eyes narrowed. "That sounds shady." "It is," I admitted, "but it's the only option we have." She blinked. "Evan, what are you not telling me?" That question sliced through me because I've been avoiding it for years. Ever since the money came into our lives. Ever since we went into hiding. "I'll tell you everything," I said. "Just let's get there first." She stared at me like she could see the truth clawing its way up my throat. But she nodded. I pulled onto the main road. Downtown Toledo was quiet. Crisp lights still hanging from lampposts. Coffee shops closed for the holiday. A couple bundled up, laughing as they hurried into a diner. Everything looked warm, safe, normal. But nothing about today was normal. Inside my head, a countdown had started, a countdown to revealing the one thing I'd sworn never to touch again. My inheritance. I hadn't told Lily about it. I hadn't told anyone, because the money came from a father we barely knew. A man who left us a fortune and a lot of enemies. Suddenly, Lily broke the silence. Are we going to Mom's old place? I shook my head. No, someone else lives there now. What about Aunt Michelle? She moved to Arizona. Then where? The words got stuck in her throat as she realized where I was driving. Her eyes widened. No way. Dude, no way. We are not going there. I kept driving. Evan, that place is... Yeah, I muttered. I know. She looked like she wanted to jump out of the car. That place is dangerous, she hissed. Mom said to never go there. Mom said a lot of things, I said, voice tight. But right now, we don't have a choice. Seriously, she snapped. We're going to them. My jaw clenched. We're going to take what's ours. She sank in her seat, whispering, this is insane. Yeah, it was. But the old estate on the edge of town, the one surrounded by rumors, boarded windows, and a whole lot of bad blood, was the only place the trust documents were hidden. The only place where the proof of who we really were still existed. The only place with the key to the money. As I turned onto the long, cracked driveway leading to the estate, the house came into view, towering, dark, wild vines crawling up the walls like nature was trying to swallow it whole. Lily shivered. This feels like the start of a horror movie, dude. She wasn't wrong. But a horror movie was better than being homeless on Christmas. Grab your stuff, I said. No, she whispered. Tell me what's in there first. My hand froze on the door handle, because the truth waited inside that house. And once we stepped through those doors, nothing in our lives would ever be the same. And when Chuck found out I had access to more money than he'd ever see in his lifetime, he was going to lose his mind. But we had to survive this place first. The house loomed over us like it had been waiting all these years. Hungry and annoyed, we finally came back. Every window was dark, like the place was holding its breath. The for sale, as the sign out front leaned sideways, half buried in snow. Lily tugged my sleeve. Evan, this place gives me the creeps. Yeah, I muttered. It gave Mom the creeps too. What exactly are we even looking for? She asked. The lockbox. She blinked. What lockbox? The one Dad left here before everything went to hell. Her jaw dropped. And you're telling me this now? I sighed, rubbing my face. I didn't want you involved, Lil, but we have nowhere else to go. So yeah, we're doing this. She threw up her hands. Great. Merry freaking Christmas. I pushed the rusted gate open. The metal screeched like it hadn't moved since the Bush administration. Dude, Lily said under her breath. If a raccoon jumps out, I'm leaving you. Fair, I chuckled. But you're driving then. Nope, I'd rather fight the raccoon. We trudged up the walkway, our breath puffing white clouds. The porch was warped, boards bending under our weight. I pulled the spare key from under a cracked flower pot, the same spot Mom used to yell about because it was too obvious, but she never actually moved it. The key slid into the lock. Stop halfway. Rushed. Seriously? I groaned. Of all days. I jiggled it. Nothing. Lily nudged me aside. Move, dude. She jammed the key in, twisted with both hands, and click. The door groaned open, unleashing a stale, cold air that smelled like dust, old carpet, and memories nobody wanted. The house wasn't trashed, just abandoned. Like life had paused mid-sentence. We stepped inside, our shoes echoing across the wooden floor. Okay, Lily whispered, this place is like 70% haunted. Stop, I muttered. Seriously, no. I'm being generous, bro. The vibes are feral. I flicked on a light. It buzzed, flickered, then steadied. The living room stretched out in front of us. Dusty furniture under white sheets. A fireplace stuffed with old newspapers. Framed family photos still hanging crookedly on the wall. Photos of a life we barely recognized. Photos of a father who smiled big, but lied bigger. Lily stared at one picture. Is that? Mom. Yeah. She touched the frame softly. Why'd she never bring us back here? Because, I said, my throat tightening, this house belonged to Dad's side. And after he died, things got complicated. She turned to me. Complicated how? I opened my backpack and pulled out a folded document. The trust letter. This house is where Dad hid the key to the inheritance, I said. Mom didn't want anything to do with it. What? Lily asked. Because it came with conditions. Dangerous ones. Lily swallowed hard. And you think this key is still here? It has to be. We moved deeper into the house, the floorboards creaking with each step like the place was whispering. We reached Dad's old study. The air felt heavier here. I pushed open the door. A desk sat in the middle. Dust. Papers. A cracked leather chair. But then, something caught my eye. A corner of the wallpaper was peeled back, unnaturally, like someone had started tearing it off, then stopped. And behind it, metal. Lily stepped up beside me. No way. Yeah, I muttered. The wall's safe. I tugged the wallpaper back until the steel door was fully exposed. The safe was old but intact, a combination lock, scratched and worn. You know the code? Lily asked. My chest tightened. Yeah, I knew it. Dad whispered it to me on a hospital bed 14 years ago, voice shaking as he told a 9-year-old boy things no kid should ever hear. Yeah, I said softly. I know it. I spun the dial. One turn. Another. The third. The safe clicked. Inside was a small black lockbox, just like Dad said. Lily held her breath. Dude, open it. My fingers curled around the box. Cold. Heavy. Real. I flipped the latch. Inside was a stack of papers, a key fob, and one single envelope with my name written on it. But the most important thing? The bank card. A card connected to an account with 7 figures. Lily gasped. Is that? Yeah, I breathed. This is the money. She covered her mouth. Holy crap. We're rich. Not yet, I said. This card doesn't work without the activation code. The code's in the paperwork. Lily chewed her lip. So, we did it, right? We're safe. I wanted to tell her yes. I wanted to believe it. But the second I touched that card, I felt something shift. Like gears turning. Like a door reopening that should have stayed sealed. A noise echoed from downstairs. A heavy thud. Lily froze. Evan, what was that? I glanced toward the doorway, heart thumping. Because we weren't alone. Someone else was inside the house. And if they were here for what I thought they were, we were already in trouble. Big trouble. The thud echoed through the house again. Deeper this time, like someone kicked a piece of furniture or stepped on something they shouldn't have. Lily grabbed my arm, so hard her nails dug through my jacket. My pulse spiked instantly, that sharp, electric stab of adrenaline that flips your brain from normal human to fight or run now. I shoved the lockbox into my backpack, zipped it, and motioned to Lily to stay behind me. She shook her head like I'd asked her to jump into oncoming traffic, whispering, Dude, if we die in this creepy mansion, I swear I'm haunting you. I had to bite back a laugh because, yeah, that was exactly the kind of thing she'd say right before a panic attack. I moved slowly down the hallway, every step punching through silence that suddenly felt too loud. Another noise, a shuffle, a boot sliding against old wooden floorboards. Hello, a voice called out from downstairs. A man's voice, deep, unfamiliar. My chest locked up. Seriously? Lily hissed. Who the heck breaks into this place? What Craigslist goblins? I shook my head. Not robbers. Nobody robs abandoned houses. So what then? I swallowed hard. Someone who knows what's here. We crept to the top of the staircase, and I leaned just far enough to see a shadow moving across the foyer. A tall figure wearing a heavy winter coat, shoulders squared like he owned the place. He turned his head slightly, and I caught a partial view of his face. Sharp jawline, trimmed beard, expression carved out of concrete. Definitely not some random dude looking for shelter. The guy stepped farther inside, scanning the room like he was searching for something specific. Lily whispered, Bro, this is not the vibe. We got a dip. Yeah, I whispered. But if he sees us, we're trapped upstairs. So what? Hide in the ceiling? I pointed to the left. No, the back stairs. Move. We slipped down the hallway and headed toward the secondary staircase near the kitchen. The one Dad used to call the servants' stairs, which always made Mom roll her eyes. Halfway there, I heard the guy speak again, louder this time. Evan, you here? Lily froze, so hard her boots squeaked. He knows your name? She whispered, eyes going saucer-wide. No clue who he is. I breathed. Move. We hurried down the narrow staircase, our footsteps muffled by the old runner carpet. I reached the bottom, cracked the kitchen door open an inch, and peered out, coast clear. I motioned Lily through. We slipped in, backs to the wall, my heart hammering like it was trying to escape. Then everything went south. The old floorboard under Lily's foot snapped like a firecracker. Crack! The sound blasted through the house. The man upstairs stopped moving. Then, rapid footsteps, coming straight toward us. Lily's eyes screamed, "What now, dude?" Options ran through my head like a slot machine spinning too fast. Back door, pantry, basement, throw a toaster at him. Everything terrible, everything desperate. But then I saw it, the mudroom door. Small, narrow, half off its hinges, but still connected to a side exit that led into the woods behind the property. I grabbed Lily's hand. Run. No explanation. Just run. Yes. We sprinted through the mudroom just as the man thundered down the front staircase, shouting, "Evan, stop. We need to talk." "Yeah, sure." Nothing says, "We need to talk," like breaking into an abandoned estate on Christmas and chasing people through hallways like a bargain bin horror movie villain. We burst through the side door. Cold winter air slapped me in the face. Snow swallowed our boots as we ran, branches whipping past. I didn't look back, not until we reached the tree line. Then I turned. The man stood in the doorway of the house, staring after us. Not running, not yelling, just staring, like he knew something we didn't, like he was waiting. Lily doubled over, gasping. "Dude, who was that?" "I don't know," I said, but my gut twisted, because deep down, I had a feeling. A bad one. "He knew your name," she said. "Yeah." "And he was looking for the lockbox." "Yeah." "And he found the house today, of all days?" "Yeah." She straightened, eyes darkening. "Evan, someone else knows about the money." I didn't want it to be true. I didn't want to believe anyone else was connected to the inheritance, the trust, the ugly family history I'd tucked away like a landmine. But as I stared at the man still watching from the porch, something in my chest sank like a lead weight. Because he didn't look surprised we took the box. He looked sure we would. And that meant one thing. One terrifying, life-changing thing. Someone had been following us long before Chuck kicked us out. We didn't stop running until we reached the car. My lungs felt like someone shoved hot metal inside them. And Lily practically dove into the passenger seat, slamming the door so hard the whole Civic trembled like it was about to fall apart. "Dude," she gasped, pointing toward the woods. "We are in an actual nightmare." "Yeah," I muttered, turning the key. The engine coughed, groaned, shook violently. "Not now, man. Not now. RRR. Click RRR. Lily smacked the dashboard. "Start, you stupid toaster." Finally, the engine revved to life. I didn't wait. I threw it into drive and peeled out of that driveway, so fast snow sprayed behind us like fireworks. Only when we got back onto the main road did Lily speak, her voice small but sharp. "Why did he know your name?" I gripped the wheel. "I don't know. That's bull." "Lily, no. We almost died in the dollar store version of a haunted mansion, and some dude showed up knowing your name. You know something?" I kept driving, eyes locked on the road, because if I looked at her, I'd cave. "Lil, I never told you everything about Dad's family." She snorted. "Clearly. They weren't just rich," I said quietly. "They were connected, as in like, we own yacht clubs connected, or we disappear people for fun connected." I didn't answer. Lily stared at me. "Bro, are you kidding me right now?" "Which one?" A sigh ripped out of me. "Somewhere in the middle." "That's not comforting." I turned onto I-75, the gray winter sky hanging low. Cars were sparse. It was Christmas, after all, but the pit in my stomach was growing heavier by the mile. "I think," I said slowly, "that man knew Dad." Lily blinked. "But Dad's been gone for years." "Yeah, but the money wasn't supposed to disappear with him. A lot of people wanted it." She rubbed her forehead. "So you're telling me this inheritance comes with a free stalker?" "Maybe more than one." "Bro, return it. I don't even want it anymore." I almost laughed, but my hands were shaking too much. Because I knew exactly what we had now. A bank card tied to a 7-figure trust. An envelope with activation documents inside. A key fob I hadn't even examined yet. And a man who seemed to know every step we were taking before we took it. I pulled into a deserted gas station lot outside Monroe, Michigan. The cold hit us when we stepped out, misty air biting our cheeks. "Okay," I said. "Let's open the envelope." Lily crossed her arms. What if it has like a tracker or something? It's paper, dude. That's exactly what someone with a paper tracker would say. I rolled my eyes, but honestly, she wasn't totally off. Dad's family had done way crazier things. I leaned against the hood and opened the envelope. Inside was a handwritten letter from Dad, a bank access slip, a tiny metal tag with numbers etched into it, and a second envelope sealed in red wax. Lily leaned in. What's that? Some Hogwarts nonsense. I don't know. I unfolded the letter first. The handwriting was messy, rushed, the ink smudged like Dad wrote it fast and scared. Evan, if you're reading this, then you're old enough to understand the danger. The money is yours, but others will come for it. They will come for you. You must follow the instructions exactly. Start with the key fob. Don't trust anyone from my side of the family. And for God's sake, don't let them find Lily. Dad, my blood ran cold. Lily's eyes darted across the page. What do you mean, don't let them find me? Evan, what the hell does that mean? Before I could answer, my phone buzzed. Unknown number. I froze. Lily whispered, don't pick it up. Dude, don't. But it buzzed again. And again. Finally, a text popped up. You shouldn't have taken the box. Then another. We need to talk before things get worse. Lily clutched my arm. Evan, who is that? I swallowed. Hard. Because the number wasn't local. It wasn't even from Ohio or Michigan. Area code 212. New York City. Dad's old territory. And the worst part? Another text arrived. You can't hide from family. My vision tunneled. My heart dropped. Because whoever this was, they weren't lying. And they weren't done with us. Not by a long shot. The second that last text hit my screen, you can't hide from family. Something inside me snapped tight like a guitar string pulled too far. The gas station suddenly felt way too open, way too quiet, way too exposed. A semi rumbled past on the highway, headlights cutting across the icy pavement, and Lily flinched like it was a gunshot. Evan, get in the car, she whispered. Yeah, I said, stuffing the envelope back into the backpack. We're leaving. We climbed in fast, both of us looking around like paranoid raccoons. I locked the doors, probably pointless, but my brain said do it anyway, and started. The engine. Lily's voice shook. What do they want? The money. Probably. Then give it to them. It's not that simple. She stared at me like I'd just spoken French. Dude, they can have it. I want to live past Thursday. I gripped the wheel, teeth clenched. It's not just money, Lil. It's leverage. Influence. And whoever texted me, they think it belongs to them. That's wild, she muttered. We didn't even want this stupid fortune. Trust me, I said. I know. I pulled out of the gas station, heading north, letting the highway swallow us. Snowflakes drifted down slowly, the deceptively calm Midwest snowfall that hides black ice underneath. Lily hugged her knees to her chest, eyes fixed on the passing landscape. Then she said, So what's the plan? I don't know, I admitted. But we can't stay in Ohio. Where are we going? Your magical backup house? A cave? Witness protection? Starbucks? Detroit. She blinked. Why Detroit? Because that's where Dad's safety deposit box is. Bro, of course he has a safety deposit box in Detroit. Yeah. And what's in it? I don't know. Her mouth dropped. You what? How do you not? It was sealed until I turned 24. And now you're 24. Yeah. So it's open. Yeah. And inside might be the thing these creepy stalker people want. Exactly. She stared out the window, muttering, Cool. Cool. Love that for us. The road stretched long and empty, Christmas lights flickering from farmhouses in the distance. Somewhere between Toledo and Detroit, the tension in the car grew so thick it felt like its own passenger. I try not to think about the man in the house. His voice. How he said my name like he already owned it. I try not to think about the texts. The warnings. The family dad said never to trust. But then, headlights flare behind us. A black SUV. Big. Boxy. Too polished to be random. It stayed a few car lengths back. Didn't pass. Didn't slow. Just followed. Lily noticed immediately. Evan. Yeah. That's the same SUV from earlier in Toledo. Yeah. So we're being followed. Yeah. She slammed her hands against her face. Dude, I hate this. I pressed the accelerator. The Civic whined like it was begging for retirement, but it picked up speed. The SUV matched it perfectly. "Okay," Lily whispered. "This is the part where the main characters die in a ditch." "No one's dying," I said through clenched teeth. "Bro, have you seen this car? We're dying first." I swerved onto an exit ramp, tires skidding slightly. The SUV swerved too. Lily looked like she was about to pass out. "Why are they still behind us?" "I don't know." Another text buzzed. I didn't look. I didn't have to. I knew who it was. We reached a stretch of old industrial factories, long-abandoned warehouses, rusted fencing, cracked pavement. Perfect place for a chase to end badly. But I wasn't about to let that happen. I made a sharp right into a narrow service road, the Civic bouncing violently over potholes. The SUV tried to follow, but it was too wide. Metal scraped concrete. Tires squealed. The SUV jerked back. "They can't fit," Lily yelled, half cheering, half sobbing. "Dude, your trash car actually saved us." "Never insult the Civic again," I muttered. We punched through the alley and came out the other side. The SUV stuck behind, boxed in by the concrete walls. For the first time all day, I felt like we had a sliver of control. Then my phone buzzed again. I finally glanced at the screen. The message wasn't a threat this time. It was a photo taken from inside our old apartment. A photo of the empty living room. And underneath it, "You shouldn't have run. We were already waiting." My stomach dropped so hard it hurt. Because if they were inside our old place, if they'd been there before we returned from the estate, that meant they knew exactly where we lived, exactly where we went, exactly what we took. And worst of all, a new message appeared. "Next time, we won't miss the girl." Lily saw it. Her face drained of color. "Evan," she whispered, voice breaking. "Are they coming for me?" I didn't answer, because the truth was already written in the pixels of that photo. They weren't chasing us. They were hunting us. I don't know how long I stared at that text. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, maybe a full minute. But it felt like the world shrank into the glowing rectangle of my phone screen. My hands went cold on the steering wheel. Not the winter kind of cold. A different kind. The kind that comes from fear, so heavy it presses on your lungs. Lily saw my face and whispered, "Say something." "Please." "I will," I said quietly. "Just give me a second." She shook her head, voice trembling. "We don't have a second, dude." And she was right. This wasn't just danger anymore. This wasn't just pressure or a chase or some mysterious dude in a house. This was a threat. A direct threat. To Lily, my baby sister. The one person I promised our mom I'd protect no matter what. Suddenly the fear inside me hardened into something else. Something hotter, heavier, sharper. Anger. "Evan," Lily whispered, "we need a plan." "Yeah," I muttered. "We do." The Civic hummed softly as it idled behind the empty warehouse strip. Everything around us felt abandoned, frozen, forgotten. Snow blew across the cracked pavement in thin, ghost-like sheets. I forced myself to breathe and think. I had a bank card, a key fob, a sealed envelope I hadn't opened yet, and a safety deposit box in downtown Detroit that supposedly held the answers. But between us and that box was a group of people who already knew too much. "Okay," I said finally. "Here's what we do. We stick to the original plan. We get to Detroit. We open the box. We see what Dad left. And we play this smarter than them." Lily stared at me like I'd grown a second head. "That's the plan?" "Dude, that's not a plan. That's a wish." "You have a better idea?" "Yeah. We hide in a Walmart bathroom until New Year's." I snorted. They'd still find us. "Why?" she shouted. "How do they know everything?" I didn't want to say the answer, but she deserved the truth. "Because they've been watching us," I said quietly. "Not just today, not just at the house. Longer." Her mouth fell open. "Since when?" I stared out the windshield. Snow kept blowing. Cold kept hanging. Danger kept closing in. "I think since Dad died." Lily sucked in a breath, hands shaking. "You're telling me for years someone's been..." "I don't know," I cut in. "Maybe not full time. Maybe they just kept tabs. Maybe they waited for Mom to pass. Maybe they were waiting for me to turn 24, so the trust opened." Lily pressed her palms to her eyes. "Dude, this is insane. I feel like we're in a rejected Netflix script." "Yeah," I muttered. "Feels about right." Finally, she looked at me again, voice quieter. "So, what's in that sealed envelope?" I pulled it out of the backpack. Heavy, thick, sealed with a dark red wax crest. A crest I didn't recognize, but something about it made my stomach twist. Lily pointed. "Okay, that looks like it belongs to a cult. Or a law firm." I shrugged. "Same difference." I cracked the seal. The wax broke clean, snapping like a tiny bone. Inside was a single sheet of thick paper with handwriting written in deep black ink. Not Dad's handwriting. A different hand. Sharper, more controlled, almost elegant. It said, "If you're reading this, the first phase has begun. The key fob unlocks a storage unit in Detroit. Everything you need is inside. But be warned, you are not the only heir, and the others will not share." Lily's head jerked up. "I guess so. Dude, how many?" "No idea. This is getting worse every 5 minutes." She wasn't wrong. But at the bottom of the letter, that's where things went from bad to catastrophic. A final line written in larger, darker letters. "And one of them is already close to you." Lily froze. "What does that mean?" I stared at the words until they blurred. One of them. Close to us. My mind raced through possibilities. The man in the house. The person texting me. The owner of the SUV. Someone from our past. Then my phone buzzed again. A new text. From the same unknown number. But this time, it wasn't a threat. It was a selfie. A selfie taken inside the driver's seat of a black SUV. A woman. Maybe mid-30s. Dark hair pulled back. Cold eyes staring straight into the camera. Underneath it, "Stop running. We're family." Lily's voice cracked. "Evan, who is she?" I felt my stomach twist because suddenly, painfully, sickeningly, I realized I recognized something about her. Something I hadn't thought about in years. A photo I saw once when Dad wasn't looking. My voice came out rough. "I think she's our cousin." Lily choked on a breath. "We have cousins. Apparently. And she wants to what? Kidnap us." I don't know, but I did know. One thing. One terrifying, unavoidable thing. We weren't running from strangers. We were running from blood. And blood doesn't stop. Not until it gets what it wants. I swear my heart missed a full beat when I looked at that selfie. The woman's stare felt like it punched right through the screen. Cold and confident. Like she already knew we were trapped. Like this whole chase was a game she'd been waiting years to play. Lily leaned closer, whispering, "Dude, she looks like she wants to murder us." I swallowed hard. Yeah, or like she wants something bigger. What's bigger than not murdering us? I didn't answer because, honestly, I had no idea. The air inside that Civic suddenly felt too tight, too hot, like the danger was crawling through the vents. Then another text popped up. "Storage Unit 327. I'll meet you there. Don't make me come find you." Lily shot straight up. "Nope, nope, nope, absolutely not. Why would we ever meet her?" "We're not," I said quickly. "We're going on our terms. Not hers." "How? She's ahead of us. She knows everything." "Not everything," I muttered. "She doesn't know what Dad left for us." Lily gave me a look. "Dude, you don't even know what Dad left for us." "Yeah," I admitted. "Exactly." She collapsed back into the seat, rubbing her face like her brain was overheating. "This is insane. We're literally being hunted by rich psycho relatives we didn't even know existed. Guess Dad had a complicated life." "No," she snapped. "Dad had a whole secret family tree he didn't feel like mentioning at Christmas." I winced. Too soon. Way too soon. I shoved the letter and key fob back into the envelope and jammed it into the backpack. We couldn't stay parked here. Every minute felt like we were handing her a map with a big red circle saying, "We're right here. Come get us." I put the Civic in drive. "We're leaving." Liddy nodded fast. "Good. Let's go literally anywhere that isn't here." I pulled out of the abandoned lot and onto the icy highway heading south, the tires crunching over frozen slush. Detroit was still hours away, but we weren't alone out here. Not anymore. The SUV could be behind us. Ahead of us. Already waiting in the city. The thought dug into me until I finally muttered, "She said she's family. She said she's an heir. So what exactly are we heirs to?" Lily stared straight ahead. Money. Power. A trust. Maybe some big corporate thing Dad was tied to. Yeah, but why the threats? "Because money makes people stupid," she said bitterly. For a second, the car was quiet. The kind of quiet that feels loud. Then Lily whispered, "Evan, you said you recognized her. From where?" I chewed the inside of my cheek, trying to dig up the memory. It was faint, blurry, buried under years of normal life. "There was this picture," I said slowly. "I saw it when I was like 9. Dad was going through some old boxes in the basement. He didn't know I was watching. There was a girl in the photo, maybe a teenager at the time. Same eyes, same jawline. And she was our cousin? I think so. So what? Dad leaves his entire fortune to you, and not her." Lily said, "That would make anyone pissed. Still, doesn't explain the threats." "It does," Lily said darkly. "If you inherit something huge, someone else doesn't." That hit hard. I kept driving, each mile feeling heavier, like we were getting pulled into something way bigger than an inheritance fight. Something personal, old, deep. Then Lily whispered, "Do you remember anything else about the picture?" "One thing." "What?" She wasn't alone. Lily slowly turned her head. "Who was with her?" I gripped the wheel so tight my knuckles popped. "A man," I said. "Tall. Standing behind her, like he was protecting her." Lily shivered. "Where is he now?" "I don't know." But the look on her face told me she was thinking the same thing I was. What if he was involved too? What if more than one heir was watching us? What if this was just the beginning? We hit the Michigan border right as the sun dipped, turning everything into a weird orange-gray twilight. The kind that makes the world feel like it's holding its breath. Lily whispered, "Do you think she's close?" I checked the rear view. I froze, because about a quarter-mile back, a black SUV slipped onto the highway behind us. Not speeding, not closing in, just there, just watching. My stomach dropped into my shoes. "Evan," Lily whispered, "please tell me that's not her." I swallowed. "I can't." The SUV stayed, matching our speed, never passing, never falling back, just waiting. And then my phone buzzed again. A final text. Short, sharp, exactly what I feared. "See you soon." Lily gasped. "Oh my God, she's right behind us." I pressed my foot down on the gas. Because the chase? It had officially begun. Detroit skyline stretched out ahead, glittering like a promise in the dark. I gripped the steering wheel until my knuckles were white, the Civic groaning under pressure, but I didn't care. Nothing mattered except getting Lily to safety, getting answers, and finally facing whatever twisted family legacy Dad left behind. The SUV stayed glued behind us, shadowing every turn, like a predator testing patience. My heart slammed against my ribs, adrenaline tasting metallic in my mouth. I could hear Lily's shallow breaths next to me, tiny tremors shaking her whole body. "We're here," I muttered, pointing toward the storage facility Dad mentioned in a sealed envelope. The unit numbers glowed faintly in the low Christmas lights, and the icy wind made the air bite. "We get what we need, and then we deal with her." Lily swallowed, whispering, "Deal with her?" "Yeah, the cousin." She blinked. "We're actually going to confront her." I smirked grimly. "Damn right we are." I grabbed the key fob, swiping it against the storage unit door. The lock clicked open, metal grinding softly. Inside, stacks of boxes, folders, and another smaller lockbox waited. Dad's handwriting labeled most of the folders. Trust documents, bank accounts, legal papers. The smaller lockbox, black, matte, heavy, sat in the middle, as if daring anyone to touch it. I slid out carefully, my pulse hammering. This is it. Everything Dad left us. Lily's eyes widened. "Do it. Open it." I cracked the box. Inside, a ledger with numbers, bank accounts, properties, security access codes, legal papers proving sole inheritance. A final envelope, dark red, sealed with the same wax crest. I tore the seal. Inside, a single note. "Evan, Lily, you were meant to find this. The others will try to claim it. But power lies in unity, not fear. Protect each other. And remember, sometimes family isn't blood. It's trust." Dad. I blinked, heart hammering. "Lil, we're really rich." She grinned, voice shaky. "Bro, we could actually buy a pizza without checking the price." I laughed, tension spilling out. But my laughter died when a shadow fell across the doorway. The cousin, smiling, confident, cold. Looks like you found Dad's toys before I could, she said. You followed us? I asked. I did. But don't worry, she shrugged. I'm not here to hurt you unless you make me. Lily froze. Make you how? I stepped forward. Look, we don't want to fight. We want to understand. She tilted her head, eyes scanning the boxes. Understand? You think this money is yours? Dad left pieces for all of us. And some of us don't play fair. I swallowed. We don't want to fight, but we won't be intimidated. Her smirk faltered slightly. Smart. Maybe you've got a spine after all. A tense beat. Then, finally, she extended her hand. Truce. For now, until we figure out who's really in charge. I hesitated, then shook it. Lily followed. The air felt electric, a fragile bridge between danger and relief. I exhaled finally. For the first time all day, I felt control, power, and a sense of destiny. Because we'd survived Chuck's betrayal, the abandoned mansion, the stalkers, the threats, and our own fear. And now, Dad's secret, his fortune, his legacy, was ours to protect. I looked at Lily. You know what this means? She grinned. Pizza, Lamborghini, world domination. Maybe all three, I said with a laugh. And just as the SUV disappeared into the night, I realized the real lesson. Wealth doesn't protect you. Family, courage, and loyalty do. Because in the end, it wasn't just about money. It was about rising together against the storm. If you thought this story was wild, hit that like button, because surviving family drama and Christmas betrayal deserves a celebration. Subscribe now and turn on notifications so you never miss a story this insane. And comment below. If you were in Evan and Lily's shoes, would you fight, run, or call it quits? Let's see who's brave enough to face a family storm like this. Because one thing's for sure, you never know when life will throw you out, only to hand you the power to come back strong.